Alright, that's what we want right there. I'll give you guys a little room. Alright, well, it looks like we are live, so if you're watching this, welcome to the first official mastermind of the University Content Creators. My name is Ryan Quinlan. I am the owner and founder of the YouTube channel Quinn's Coins, with just over 6,000 subscribers now, and these are my friends Saeed and Adam. You guys want to introduce yourself? Let them know what you do.
Yeah, so my name is Saeed. I'm the owner of a YouTube channel called BD Legend 313, where I do mostly mobile gaming and other videos like that, and I just have over 550 subscribers.
I'm Adam Palmer. I run the YouTube channel Shadow Armada, and it's focused on PC and console gaming. And right now, I just recently hit 75 subscribers.
Yep. So you're on your way up to 100 there.
Yep.
Hoping to get that pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
So, like we've said in the past, the whole idea behind the mastermind is that we get together and talk about some of the things that have been troubling us recently as creators. We're all pretty much posting consistent content. I wasn't able to post this week because, college. It'll get you sometime, but that's sort of what we're all about here is helping college students sort of manage their time and create YouTube channels that they can sustain throughout their college careers, despite all of the crazy stuff that's going on. So, you guys have anything that you want to talk about today as far as stuff that's getting you going on your channels? Anything tripping you up?
Well, now that you mention it, actually. So to talk about the consistency, that's kind of been an issue that's
right.
constant with my channel. And luckily, I was hoping Adam would have like a couple of tips because I know you're really consistent with your video uploading.
I've gotten pretty consistent with that now.
So do you have like how does it work? Do you have like a scheduled time where you work on your videos per day or?
Yes, and more so, I didn't used to when I was during the summer because I don't really need a consistent plan of recording and all that stuff then. But since the semester started, I'm in my mind I think, when do I have a chance to record? And for me, the best times for me to record, Tuesday, Thursday, and on occasion the weekend, just because I have a roommate and I don't want to bother him with recording. And that's the times he's gone the longest. So it's I found those times to be best. And then it's so now I know what days. So it's what times am I not in class? And once I looked at that, it's so I have this block of time that I can use for recording and stuff. How much of it do I actually want to use? And I figured that out because there's other stuff, of course, have to do. Eat and all that fun stuff. So it's once I found that chunk of time, it's in my mind, I set that time aside specifically for recording. And then after that, then you look at what times can you do editing. And it's for me, it's basically whenever I don't have any other work to do, which happens a lot. So it's any free time I get, I either do that or I'm watching YouTube videos, figuring to see them and get ideas for future YouTube videos for myself. And by setting up that plan in mind, it helps you stay on top of getting videos ready to then be able to post them consistently.
Yeah, I'd say in the beginning of every semester in college, you have about a week or 2 weeks where everything is just crazy. You don't know your schedule yet. You're just trying to figure it out. But once you get that set schedule down, at least the class times, then you sort of move in office hours and stuff, and you sort of finalize your schedule, and then you need to pick the spots in your schedule that are still empty and just fill those up with YouTube. Typically for me, that would be the weekend. And I know it sounds crazy to be so meticulous about every hour of the day, but I think it really is smart to not just have a list of things that you have to do, but actually put out, block out spots in your schedule where those things are going to get done, because then you know exactly what you're capable of. You see that, and this is the time that I'm going to set aside to make this video. This is the time I'm going to edit it. and this is when it's going out, and that's how you obtain consistency. Like Adam said, sounds like he's totally blocking out his time, and I found that like when I do that, like yesterday, I blocked out every single thing I was going to do in the day, and I got to most of it. So it definitely helps to have not just a list of things, but rather times in your schedule to do them. So, what kind of schedule were you looking to have? Were you thinking like weekly videos or more than that?
No, I was thinking actually bi-weekly, but
Okay.
yeah, like not every 2 weeks, like twice a week.
Oh, twice. Okay.
Right, because
Gotcha.
there's multiple meanings to them.
Yes.
Right. But twice a week. But yeah, so I think that was definitely one of the issues, like where I wouldn't have like a set time, right? I just kind of do it whenever. And that kind of brings me to like the second thing, which was like last weekend I was gonna make a video. Like last weekend, I think I had a little bit of time on Friday or something.
Yeah.
And I just I didn't feel like it. Like there are those times where you're really fired up. Like, all right, I'm about to make like 10 videos right now, right?
Right.
But you have like an exam tomorrow or something. Or something happens, you can't do it, right? But there are times where, you have the time, right? You have you know what you're going to make. You just don't feel it anymore. What do you do then? Like,
That's a good question. So you're saying like you have all the ideas, everything's set, but you just don't have the time.
It's not the time. It's just like
the motivation.
The
You're missing the
motivation's not
motivation.
there.
I think the best thing that you can do is not get yourself into those situations in the first place, and this is how you do that. Like I said, blocking out your schedule, and like I think getting up in the morning and already having something to do rather than just sort of sulking around like checking your phone and stuff. You need to start your day with something productive, because that's going to set the tone for the rest of the day. And then you will never get in those moods, because you'll constantly be checking your schedule, or you'll have those notifications come up and it'll be like, it's time to do this, time to do that, and you'll know exactly what you need to do, and in that way you don't have like it, you take the choice out of it. Like before, you either had the choice, you could do the video, there's tons of things that you could do, and a lot of the time you end up picking just like sit on the couch and whatever. So I think definitely starting your day with something productive, and then having a set schedule that you can follow throughout the day is the way to go. But I do think it is good, if you're in a groove where you have the time and you have the ability to make a lot of videos, it's definitely good to just knock like 4 videos out of the way, like film 4 videos in a day, and then you have all that footage that you can edit, and you don't have to worry about going through the entire process in case you get in sort of a time crunch. So that's definitely a good idea to try that out. You have any thoughts on that, Adam?
Not really. Like for me, like sometimes that's happened to me where like I don't feel like doing it, but like I still do it because it's like that you need to do it. Like if you want to make it on YouTube, like you got to keep that fact in mind that you have to like try and consistently post,
right,
and try and get videos ready, preferably even backlog a couple videos, so like if you do end up in a time crunch, like you have something to post still.
Yeah, that's another thing. If you can have a set schedule that's not just down to the day, but it's actually down to the time, then that this, like when you make deadlines for yourself like that, that's when you actually start to really tell yourself like, I need to get this out by that time, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes. If you sleep for 8 hours every night, and you say, okay, I need to make this video. 8 hours is generally enough to make a video. So even if it comes down to that, you'll have those 8 hours. Stay up all night and put that video out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's always there. I mean, it's not preferred, but
yeah,
you can definitely pull an all-nighter if you need to. So.
Yeah, preferably pull the all-nighters on the weekend when you don't have other stuff to
right,
worry about, though.
Yeah, and that's happened to me a few times. A couple months ago, I had to get this video out because, like I said, I have a certain time on Saturday that I post every time, and I had to pack that night. I had to pack because I was moving up north, and so once I finished packing, it was about 1 a.m. and then I decided to sit down and edit the video until like 5:30 in the morning. And I was thinking like, why am I doing this for? Oh yeah, because I need to get it out. And it turned out the next day it got like 4,000 or 5,000 views, which was insane. Like I usually get probably 1,000 views on the first day, but this one just paid off big time. So it was like that, it really put that concrete in my mind that like this is what you need to do. You just need to keep putting it out, and eventually you'll get something that takes off like that. So yeah, it definitely paid off to keep putting it out consistently, because eventually people are going to start making that a part of their day when you put out content. What days were you thinking about posting on?
Well, I was still thinking, but I have like a day, a literal 24-hour period where I don't have classes in the middle of the week.
Gotcha.
Right. So I was just thinking I could make videos then. I was thinking one during like the weekend, say like Saturday or Sunday, and one in the middle like Wednesday or Thursday, like that. So it kind of cycles, throughout the week.
So you're thinking about filming the 2 videos in that period, maybe even editing.
Yeah.
And then just having them back. Okay, that's a good plan.
Yeah, that's a solid plan.
And are these 2 specifically like different types of videos from each other? Or?
I mean, right now, so since I haven't made videos in a while, I'm kind of trying to focus on the videos that are getting, because the thing is, there are still videos that are getting those 2 videos, right? They're still getting views, right?
Right.
So I'm just gonna try to make like this, because the new subscribers don't know I've been inactive, right? Like
Right.
I mean, like they can check and whatnot, but they won't feel that way because they just subscribed, right?
Yeah.
And they clearly subscribed for that content. So what I'm thinking is, if I make similar content to those videos, right? Then they'll be like, okay, he's making these videos, right? And they just subscribed, so I'm trying to bounce off of those videos, kind of to project myself a little bit.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of what I'm gonna stick with. Plus, those videos are kind of easy to make. So.
You're talking about the commentary type?
The commentary, yeah, like the deck strategy, real quick.
Okay.
Just like strategy. I think that's what it is. I think it's the fact that it's short and people are kind of getting help from it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because that's making them interact with the video more. I get comments every day,
right?
Whether this deck helped or this deck didn't, So even though I didn't talk, I didn't even fluff the video up, I didn't even say anything pretty much useless, right, in the videos, they still helped, and they were short, right, which is one of those things. So I'm gonna try to get as much of that as possible within the next few videos, and hopefully bounce off of those.
Yeah, I like the style of your content. It's definitely an educational type of video, which I think people are really enjoying. They like to learn from you, so you definitely have some good stuff. You just need to be putting it out more.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yep.
Okay. Before we go on, in chat we had someone say something of it was coins for amateurs. So if you could read.
Yeah. So hey, Chad, coins for amateurs. He says, if you find yourself struggling to find the motivation, slow down and remind yourself what your goals are. So I think in this case, Saeed's problem was probably that he wasn't exactly sure what his goals were, like as far as posting times and stuff. But I do want to mention we just got a new member in here. This is Michael. Michael, you want to introduce yourself? Tell us what you do.
Sure. So I'm Michael. Sorry for being late. I was on the highway. There was traffic.
That's all right.
But so I'm also like a YouTuber. I originally did Let's Plays, and it wasn't working out for me, so now I'm doing different stuff, compilations, still gaming related, but that's the short version of what I do.
Yeah, and we just saw you posted a video yesterday that's
yes, I did.
Also doing well.
Yep.
So we're going to sort of segue into the topic of using social media to promote our content, which I think we all do, but we're also all sort of having some difficulties as far as like deciding what social media works for you, figuring out the culture on that particular social media. So I know that you've told me in the past that you use a few different places to promote your content, and it's very specific. You said it's
yeah.
Yeah, so you're doing like compilations of a very particular video game.
Right. So I've basically been to the fan page for that game, and I've posted around there, and then the subreddit for that game, and that's also where I post. So it's very specific to that game. So if I wanted to branch out to a different game, I'd have to find better places to advertise, because that's very specific.
And your content is well accepted in those areas.
Yeah, it does pretty well in those areas. They generally like it. So.
Yeah. Were you doing any of this, because I know that all of you are gamers in a way. Were you doing this when you were putting out your normal Let's Plays videos?
Kind of. that wasn't quite as targeted. I was doing general, like, say if I was on Reddit, I would do like the YouTube gaming subreddit or something like that, and you can kind of get lost in there. Near the end of when I was doing Let's Plays, I would post in sort of the specific subreddits. So when I did a Let's Play of Outlast, I would post in the Outlast subreddit, which unfortunately is not a very active subreddit.
Right.
So I didn't get a lot of traffic, but I started working more into more specific subreddits near the end there.
And when you're talking about the YouTube gaming subreddit, is that pretty saturated with just people posting their?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I know. I've been on there.
So that's the challenge. I mean, it's difficult to actually have people go to it. I mean, you probably know yourselves. Hold on a second. It says OBS disconnected. Hopefully it didn't actually. And
Okay.
let me know if you're still getting it over there.
It briefly stopped, but should be back.
Is it back on? It says good.
Yeah,
Good over here.
it shows it's still going.
Okay.
So it should be fine.
All right. Cool. So we were talking about the challenges of finding a place to post, especially in the gaming community, because it's so saturated. There's so many gamers out there.
It is.
So I think the moral of the story here is that you really need to specialize if you're going to go into this industry of YouTube gaming. Saeed is sort of is specializing right now. He's sort of focused on, what was it exactly now?
Clash Royale.
Clash Royale.
Yeah.
Okay. And now you've sort of pinpointed into not. I mean, it doesn't have to. I'd say it doesn't have to be this specific game. I think you can definitely branch out and do the same type of content with other games. But you've definitely specified your style, and you're going with sort of like a compilation style rather than normal. Okay. Do you have any other ideas for games that you could do afterwards?
I've kind of had ideas. I have to poke around because I'm gonna have to actually play the game to get the gist of whether or not it's actually gonna be a good game. Then I have to play it again to get like the footage that I need. So I still have to poke around and find. I've got some ideas of where to look. But I think I have to look at very like story heavy games that have the content that you can actually like poke fun at or parody and stuff like that. So
and you have to be really up on your pop culture references there too.
Yeah,
to be able to do stuff like that.
I've always been like into like memes and vines and stuff, but I've had to really like keep up with it to keep relevant stuff. So.
And you're using a lot of interesting editing techniques now that I'm not even sure any of us really know how to do. Maybe Saeed, because he's using that stuff. But I'm talking about. I mean, like when you're like moving in on the scene and stuff.
Really?
Like,
okay.
What do you use to?
I'm using Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean I've got Vegas 14 Pro or whatever. But I mean you can do the same thing. Back when I was using Vegas 11 or whatever, you could do the same stuff. But yeah, that's something I know how to do, and so if anybody wanted to come in and learn that, we know how to do that stuff.
Yeah, I think actually all four of us here primarily edit on Vegas.
Yeah, so
it's the choice of the real ones. So yeah. Let's talk about Twitter.
All right.
Okay.
Anybody use Twitter?
Yep.
Tried to and gave up on it.
The thing about Twitter is, okay, so I told you about my nephew, right? Like, he has this Minecraft channel, and he's grown huge off of Twitter and Discord. So he created his own Discord server. So what he did was he opened the Discord server to people, not even his subscribers, right? Just random people, right? Whoever wanted to play with them. And when he would play with people, he'd invite them to his Discord server. And people would just join the server, and he'll just advertise his videos on the server, and because he's owner of the server, right? And eventually people will subscribe to the thing too. And he does the same thing with Twitter, right? But the thing with Twitter is, the guy posts maybe like 20 times a day because it has to be something you actively do,
Yeah.
So I started starting a Twitter for just YouTube, for just my channel, right? And it's almost impossible, because how many times do you think about, that game you're playing 20 times a day, right? Whereas my nephew, he'll post like, okay, good night, or this or that, something from school, right? So it's really just, I feel like it's a personal thing, so people will like start to follow the person, not really the channel.
I'd say you have to sort of I'd say Twitter works best if you're branding yourself on your YouTube channel, which I totally am doing. My YouTube channel is called Quinn's Coins. It's like Quinn is the guy, that's me.
Yeah.
I'm sort of the brand. So I think Twitter would work for a guy like me. I'm not sure if it would work though for a channel like Michael, because at this point what he's doing isn't really branding himself anymore. He's branding his type of content. And I saw that you were coming up on 10,000 views, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, thank God, because now I can get back into that monetization game.
Right. Yeah. Did you ever have any? Did you get anything from before?
Not really, no.
No. Yeah.
But hoping once I can get those 10,000 views that I'll start seeing something significant, because I didn't really start getting heavy like views until YouTube implemented that policy about having to have the 10,000 views.
Right.
So I have no idea what sort of like revenue I would even generate.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, YouTube just recently made a thing where you have to have 10,000 views on your channel total before you can become basically a partner with them and start making ad revenue. So that was a recent thing, so that was just implemented. But so with Twitter, have you had any success with that, Adam?
Like, people have liked my tweets and stuff. I'm even now got put in a list on Twitter by some user for PUBG, which is my most recent video that I released.
So what is a list?
It's people on Twitter can create them, and it's like all the tweets from everyone you put in the list.
Okay.
So like by being put in the list, like it's a place that every single tweet that I post is going to show up now.
Okay. So it's like a specialized feed?
I think that sounds.
Because I've never even heard of this.
Yeah, I didn't hear about it before, but like I got a notification saying someone put me in a list called PUBG, and it's like, what is this? So I had to Google to find out, and it's like I found out, and it's like, okay, that could help with my publicity and stuff.
Yeah.
But that was just recently that happened. Like
so is
yesterday.
Okay. Is that a new feature then? Is it?
I think it's been around for a while, but no one's ever done it put me in a list before, so it's new to me.
Yeah.
But I'm getting likes and stuff on my tweets and all that. Like my last one, I think had at least 2 likes last I checked, and for being so small, that's kind of surprising to me.
Oh yeah, that's decent.
But like the thing is, like I knew what the views were at before the person liked it. I saw that they liked it. I went to check the views. The views didn't change. So they literally just liked my tweet and kept scrolling, and they didn't click on the link.
Interesting, yeah. You're into all the different social media analytics, which, I mean, I'm on these social medias, but I don't usually check the analytics. I'm all about YouTube. So how helpful are those, and what social medias are they on?
Like Twitter, the main analytic I look at is how many impressions each tweet got, because that's the most important thing, because you want to see how many people are seeing this tweet. So like when you're looking at Twitter, like one thing I've noticed among my various types of tweets, because I've done like just links, I know I've done pictures on Twitter before. I might have even done videos. I'm not 100% sure on that part though. I know, and like between the two that I know of for a fact, I've done like the links and then the pictures. Like pictures, some reason, always get more impressions than straight up links. And then like if you add in hashtags, you're gonna get a lot more impressions than when you actually add those in than if you don't add them in on Twitter.
Back when I used to use Twitter, that was one of the things. So I would I'd put videos. Remember when I was doing the whole gold sniper things, right? Mm-hmm. So I would put these short little videos up, and people really liked the videos. Like people I didn't know that didn't follow me, right? They would like the videos. But one thing I used to do was, and this used to like boost the impressions like crazy. So you know when you get on Twitter on the page and there's like a trending like hashtags or whatever.
Yeah.
You just take one of those, relate them somehow to your
That's a good idea. I like that.
Then, bam! Like all of a sudden, like that thing will get like 100, 200 impressions, and like there's no other way, right?
Okay.
So yeah, I think the one I used was about like Starbucks or something.
So you just throw that in there in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know what's going on with Starbucks, but
That's good.
That's a nice idea. I might have to start doing that as well.
Try it.
Yeah, I mean, I see people, like, fortunately for me, the coin community adopted Twitter and just used it like crazy. It wasn't even my idea. I wasn't there first, but people found me and they would tweet at me, and it's just insane on there. They like when they tweet something or if you tweet something and you like it, they'll like retweet it and then you'll respond and then they'll like and retweet your response and like respond to it. It's like insane, but I think it's working. And I see how many hashtags they put, and I'm like, does this really work? Like, what's the point of that? But now that you say that, it sounds like that's definitely the way to go with it. I just sort of thought of it for myself as like, I never look up hashtags. So what do hashtags really do? That's sort of what I was wondering.
I think like things like Twitter are implemented, like they're created in such a way where you don't need to look up hashtags. Like they'll recommend it on the side or something, you know.
Right.
And you'll be like, oh, this sounds interesting or something. Because like personally, I don't use social media. I think I use Instagram the most, but that's literally because I'm bored a lot. Right? So I'll like just scroll through like the random things. But I like some people actually really use social media. You know, they'll look through those things, right?
Yeah.
And then it must pop up there, right? There has to be something to it. So.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I think Twitter's a great one. I think a lot of people that I follow use Twitter, mostly probably because they're branding themselves. I think that's a large percentage of the major YouTubers. But others use Twitter as well. So what other stuff are you guys on or have been on in the past?
Facebook.
Okay, yeah.
Which I haven't been really doing successfully, other than like actually hitting up the fan like pages for the game. But like I have my own Facebook page for my channel.
Yeah.
And basically all I would do on it is I'd put a post every time a new video was uploaded, which was, back when I was doing Let's Plays, was 3 times a week. And I might put like the video description and then like a link and then like the picture for the thumbnail, and then have that go live the same time the video did. And it wasn't really doing much. I haven't really tried it since switching the format of my channel. So
yeah, I think it's tough to say if Facebook would work for that.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a good distinction that needs to be made between Facebook groups and Facebook pages.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that what you've been posting in has been groups, right?
It's actually been a page, but it functions a lot like a group.
Okay.
But it is a page. It's it's like Life is Strange and then Heart, and then it's like the official fan page.
Okay.
For the game. So
do you submit the video to them and then they post it themselves?
What I've been doing is messaging the moderators through the page, and there's one who will usually take it and then post it on the page. I've been having issues with some of the new moderators, so what I did, not for the video, I haven't done anything with the video that came out yesterday, but the one that came out like 2 weeks ago, I ended up just going to the community section on that page and posting it in there, because the moderators haven't been getting back to me for whatever reason. So, trying to work around that, which is basically one of the tricks, is you're at the mercy of whoever's running the group or the page. You can't usually just go in and advertise yourself.
Yeah, because it is self-promotion, so they need to sort of pass that by. Can you explain that community section that you were talking about?
Yeah, I always have trouble finding it, but I know it exists on like every page for like Facebook. But when you go to the Facebook page, it'll be like the stuff that the moderators put up, and then usually somewhere on the side it'll say like posts, and then I think you can go to community posts or something like that. And that stuff will never, I don't know if there's a way to make that show up in your news feed on Facebook or anything like that. So you basically have to go looking for it.
Right.
So I'm not getting nearly as many like hits on my video by posting in there as when like the moderators would put it up for me. But some people do religiously visit that section because they'll post their own fan art and stuff like that. So,
okay.
And that's the nice thing about going to like a fan page or something, because the community cares. They're not all just trying to promote themselves. They want to see the fan art. They want to see the videos.
Yeah.
So it is a good place to go if you're doing, sort of specific content like that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to wonder how that would compare to a group where I think you can pretty much post whatever, like anybody can post in a
Right,
group as
no.
long as
Yeah,
they're a
but you
member.
can get kicked from groups.
True, yeah.
Mhm.
Because, like, for example, there's a University of Michigan class of 2020 group.
Yeah.
I got kicked from that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's
like
weird.
I only posted like a couple times in there. Sometimes like it was only, I think, one of my posts in there was like a link, but when I posted the link, gone immediately from the page. Even though like I even specifically said in the text above it, like, I'm a YouTuber here at the University of Michigan.
Yep.
So could you check out my video? And they still just kicked me.
Yeah.
Gone like that.
So I'd say that so with pages, you can't make people unlike the page, right? You can't. It's like that would be the equivalent of kicking someone out of a group. But you can't do that.
Yeah.
But with groups, you can get kicked out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But then you have that community section, which is sort of functions like a group, but just on a smaller scale. And it doesn't get into. Do you like get a notification when someone posts in the community section?
There might be a way to make that happen, but it's not default.
It's not default.
Yeah,
okay.
at least not in my settings.
I'd say that's
it's not.
the important thing. CFA here says it typically takes quite a bit of time on Twitter to build a following and get meaningful impressions. So actually, this is one of my buddies in the coin community. He was the one that just went crazy. He's basically the guy I was talking about. They just went crazy on Twitter and really got me into it. He says we hashtag Twitter like crazy and it brings in new followers who search that content. So that's exactly what I was referring to, CFA. I think I'm definitely gonna have to start trying out that hashtag method. I just feel like it just doesn't feel like real. It doesn't feel genuine. It just looks weird, but I guess I could get used to it. Any others that you guys use? Reddit? Anybody try that out?
Yeah, it's another tricky one, mostly because of how many rules a lot of the subreddits will put in place.
Right.
So I've eventually figured out how to navigate the one for Life is Strange when I do the targeted stuff. But you have to put like spoiler tags on there because like people that haven't played the new game aren't going to want to watch my compilation because it's going to have spoilers in it. So you got to put the spoiler tag on there.
Otherwise, people get all mad at you.
Yeah, and they've got the auto moderators that will automatically remove the post if it's not properly tagged. A lot of the YouTuber subreddit usually doesn't allow self-promotion, so you can get kicked out from there. If you're doing something like you're helping somebody review their channel or like critiques on a video, that's okay, but they don't want you to just go in and be like, look at my stuff.
Yeah.
So Reddit's really good for finding communities because there's just thousands of people in a subreddit usually. But you have to know Reddit's rules, like the general rules for Reddit, and then you have to figure out the subreddit's rules. So it's tricky in that sense. But once you figure it out, you're basically free to post. So
yeah, I think Reddit is one of the probably the most difficult social media site to learn and understand. Mm-hmm. Maybe next to like 4chan, but you don't want to be there.
No.
Yeah, it's like you said, you have to know the subreddit's rules. I mean, they're not like laws, but they will be enforced by the moderators.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do something wrong one time, people are going to remember that on Reddit, and they'll just not like anything you do.
Yeah, because they've got I'm not entirely sure how it's calculated, but you have like your Reddit score or something like that. Mm-hmm. So it's based on how often you comment and how many upvotes your comments get and stuff like that. So they know if you're just like posting crap because you'll get downvotes and your score will go down.
Right.
So
and I think with Reddit, I would suggest that I think they give you the option between a link and then like a text post or a photo. And I did links at first, and I realized that was annoying people because once you click on the post, it takes you right to YouTube, and a lot of people see that as intrusive. They don't want to be taken to YouTube. They just want to read the post and then decide if they want to go to your video or not. So what I ended up doing was I either posted the thumbnail or just something from the middle of the video as a picture, and then I sort of described in a comment what it is, and then said if you want, you can come and check out the video. And I think that's generally the way you want to go. Like on Facebook, I think it's best to post, like I think you said you did a lot of, like you'd either post the thumbnail or a picture, and then you'd have the link, and you'd have the link in the description of the picture, like above it.
It was like, so like the link would be above it, and then Facebook does the thing where it puts like the blocky link or whatever, and like the way I would do it, I would make these posts ahead of time and schedule them. So I had and there might be other ways of doing it, but I know when you do it that way, you have the option of putting your own custom picture for the link thing or whatever. So
Right.
I would upload the thumbnail as the picture for that.
Right.
But yeah, generally the link would be in the text, and then there'd be like a picture, and you had the option of just clicking on the link, so.
Mm-hmm. You guys have any experience with Reddit?
A little bit, but not very.
Same here.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think how you would fit that into gaming, because I know that there's just that's not the sort of thing that I feel like does well on Reddit, like trying to post your games.
For the most part, it doesn't seem to, because like there's a YouTube, it's like YouTube Gamers, YouTube Gaming, something like that allows you to self-promote.
Mm-hmm.
But like most subreddits don't allow self-promotion, so like you can't really go on there and post links to your videos because you can't do self-promotion.
Right. Yeah. And they'll say that right in the.
They'll say it in the rules.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, any other social medias that you guys are on? Specific things?
I mean, Google Plus.
Yeah.
Google Plus, yeah, let's talk about that, because
I feel like
I don't know what it is.
I feel like you have to specialize.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know. See, when I was really small, I want to say like 30 subscribers ish, right? So I used to post to Google Plus, and maybe you get some responses from Google Plus from the big things, right?
Mm-hmm.
From like the big YouTube groups or whatever, right?
Mhm.
I don't feel like a lot of people go down there. Like maybe one or two people, but not many people like see those. But when I started specializing and when I started posting Clash Royale videos, there were specific groups for Clash Royale, right? So there's a bunch of them, right? For every game, there's a bunch of Google Plus groups, right? So when I started posting to those specific groups, I think those people started eventually like viewing the videos, right?
Okay.
I mean, there's no real way to tell, right? That's the thing. Especially after the videos get big, because then they're from all they're suggested and whatnot, right? But originally that's how I gained most of my subscribers, just via Google Plus. That's the only thing I really used. I used the forums too, like Damlag and those other YouTube forums, but to be honest, I don't think those help too much, because
So those are forums for YouTubers?
yeah,
Yeah, I don't feel like that would.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound. I don't know. Like I don't think anybody who's not a YouTuber would go there and try to watch videos. I think it'd just be a bunch of YouTubers trying to get people to view.
promote. I mean, the one thing is you might be able to find people to collab with.
Sure. Yeah. No. That's.
I found this one guy. It never really worked out, to be honest with you, because he stopped responding to me, like eventually, which happens a lot, right, when you're trying to figure that stuff out. But like for a while there, I found him on this forum, and we are gonna collab for a little bit, so it was kind of cool. So for sure, you could find some people there, but at that point, I usually just look up like Clash Royale users or whatever, within like 400, 500 subscribers, like somebody my size, and try to message them on YouTube instead. So that's different.
How do you? Is that on the thing that you were just describing, or is that right on YouTube that you can do that? That you can look people up by subscriber count?
No, you can't look them up by subscriber count, but you can look up videos. Usually what I do is I look up videos, and I look up videos that have recently been posted, like this week, right? And if those videos like this week don't have like 70,000 views, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then it's got to be somebody like a bit smaller, right?
Right.
The guy's got 1,000 views or something, right? You go to his channel, right? And you go see how big he is, and then you could try to like message him or something, right? For a collaboration.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like FameBit. I don't know if you guys are familiar. You have to have 5,000 subscribers to use it. I just recently hit that, so I gave it a shot. It's not that great, but you can actually, in that way, like once you hit that, you can start looking people up within a certain subscriber range, and then message them and try to do collaborations and stuff. Also, FameBit's good for what it's mainly for is getting you brand deals.
Right.
So once you get to that size, unfortunately for me, there's not really anybody that wants to work in my field, because it's so specialized, and like nobody even really knows it exists yet. At least the brands don't. So, but yeah, it's something you can look forward to. I mean, you guys have a lot more generalized things. Gaming is like the biggest industry on YouTube. So
Yeah. Even though they keep trying to kill it.
yeah, right, yeah. I use a forum called treasurenet.com. That works out pretty well. I ended up being a pretty controversial figure on that site, which really helped me out because it sparked conversation. Actually, if you look at my biggest videos, the reason that they're big is because they're controversial. So I think that's something to think about too, is just sort of to come up with ways to stir up some excitement. Try to do it in a classy way, not just starting drama for drama, but if you can, do something that stirs up some excitement, that'll definitely get you viewers. So I'm not sure what that would be in the gaming community, but I mean, unless you want to do something like PewDiePie did recently, but probably don't want to go that route.
No, probably not. Probably not.
Yeah.
So I think that pretty much hits it on the head for social media. Are there any other problems that you guys have been dealing with recently as far as YouTube goes?
Probably for me, it would be posting videos regularly.
Yeah.
Because ever since I switched the format, I've just kind of been whenever I can do it. It was like after I stopped doing the Let's Plays, it was maybe, it might have been 6 weeks before I did another video, and then maybe another 6 weeks, and then 2 weeks. So.
Yeah, I was actually shocked to see that you got that last one out within such good time.
Yeah.
You got it in just 2 weeks, which is great.
Yeah.
How long do those videos take you to make?
So for that one, part of the reason it took me, like, I'm actually surprised I got out as quick as I did is because I had to actually get the footage from the game.
Mm-hmm.
For the compilations that involve the first game, I already have that footage just sitting on my computer. I can go to it and just whip a video out if I need to. As far as if I already have the footage, it can take me at least 12 hours to edit it all together and stuff.
Yeah,
usually over a few days, but I did it from I think 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. on Thursday to like finish it, so I could get it uploaded and scheduled and all that stuff. So
do you have a schedule in mind?
Not per se. I was thinking about trying to do at least one thing a week. Maybe not.
I think that's a little ambitious for
that.
now.
Yeah, if I was going to do that, it would have to be like maybe a 1 minute video, and then you have to wonder if that's worth it. So it's some things to think about. Hopefully, if I can think of some other games to also do, or other content, then I can work something out. So I think that's also the next thing I'm working on is finding other content to work with besides just the one game.
Yeah, I think one every 2 weeks would probably be a good goal for now. And you weren't here when we were talking about this, but this is actually like the first subject that we talked about was sort of like managing time and
Gotcha.
finding schedules. Like we said, the best thing to do is to block out time to do it. Not just have a list of things that you need to do like film, edit, because that's super ambiguous and you never know when you're going to get around to it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually put it on a schedule and have set times that you're going to use to do all of that stuff, to do all it. Well, you don't really have to do any filming. It's all editing for you.
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just have set times to edit, like over the weekend if you're free, or on a specific weekday, and then have a set time, which is every 2 weeks, that you're going to put that video out, and day and time. So what do you think? What day would work for you to put that out every 2 weeks?
Probably it would be a Saturday, like I've been doing, which is just like a good combination of like giving me most of that week to actually finish up on it, and also just that's when traffic on YouTube is about at its peak, is midday on Saturday. So
yeah, that sort of works out for us college kids. That's the schedule that I fell into for sure. I've been uploading on Saturdays, like every Saturday for probably about a year now. And it definitely works. Like you can work on it all Friday night, which kind of sounds lame, but that's sort of what you have to do. And then put it out on Saturday, and like you said, good traffic, all around good time to post for a college kid, I'd say. But yeah, so how long do you think you have left in the Life is Strange series?
It's really hard to tell because they're still putting out games for it. So they're already done with the first game, but then the spin-off game that just came out, they still have 3 more episodes to put out for it, basically. But that might be like, I think the next one's going to be end of October at the earliest, and then it's going to be like every 2 to 3 months or something, so you have to wait. And I have ideas. I actually in my phone keep ideas for like clips and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I still have a fair amount of content I could do with it, but I really need to plan for the future when I'm just not gonna be able to put it, at least not like as frequently, because even if I come up with ideas like a year from now to still do it, it might only be barely enough ideas to do a video a year for that. So yeah, so it's having a variety of things to work with, I think, is one of the things I need to work on. So I always have something to go to every 2 weeks if that was what my schedule was.
Yeah. I'd say one of the most difficult things about being a YouTuber is finding something that's sustainable that you can continually do. So for you, that'd be, you know, looking outside of that, outside of Life is Strange, and finding other games that, hopefully something that you know well, so you don't have to like spend time learning the game. I mean, the type of video you're making, like you said, it takes a long time to make. You know, a lot of hours per minute edited. So it's not like super ideal, I'd say, but if you can get, I mean, it's something that I think you can make go big. Like looking at the amount of subscribers you have versus the amount of views you get on those videos, that's huge.
Yeah, I've been quite surprised.
Yeah, no, that's huge. So, I mean, it's just a different style. I'd say most of us here are doing the type of videos that you can just like basically
pop them up.
Just keep making them.
That's what I used to do, and it just wasn't working for me personally. So
it's good to identify that you know it's not working. You gotta try something else. So, Anything else you guys are struggling with?
Maybe so I was thinking about this, like thumbnail analysis, to see actually, like, say it's like SEO, right? Like see what works, like social media wise, well, it doesn't, but like with thumbnails, right? So I've noticed a lot of some YouTubers, right? They'll have like a specific style of thumbnail. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's it's the branded. Same, that's their style. You know what I'm saying? So how does that come about? Like, do you make one, or do you just go with what's successful?
So, like, do you put a lot of thought into what your brand or your type of thumbnail is going to be?
Or do you just go with the one that, like, people will know is yours? I
think it's sort of a slow process. Like, for me, I would just try to make something that I thought would catch people's eye. I wasn't trying to make any specific type. Right. But eventually, over time, I started using basically just, like, 2 different types of backgrounds. I got the yellow one and I got the blue one. Both pretty flashy colors. But now I think people can definitely tell my thumbnail versus somebody else's. I think it just sort of happens, but maybe you could put some thought into making it happen. I don't know. Do you guys have thumbnail? I mean, I know that for your series, it's pretty identifiable, the Life is Strange thumbnail. So what sort of stands out about that thumbnail that other people don't have?
I think part of it is I'm using the like classic meme faces for those, and I'm not the only person to do that, but if you look around, there's actually not many successful people that do those kinds of compilations that also do that. So I think that's part of what makes it stand out, and it also like immediately tells people that like that's the kind of content you're going to get by clicking on this video, is that sort of like a meme dump or a Vine compilation. But other than that, just I developed when I was doing Let's Plays just like sort of a general style for the thumbnails. So I almost always use the actual logo from the game. So that's what all these have, is like the actual Life is Strange logo. And then I had a font that just worked for me. It's the Berlin Sans Bold or something like that font. So that font just always looked like nobody else was really using it. It's bold, it stands out on the thumbnail. You just put contrasting colors, so if the text is in blue, you put a little border around it in orange.
I think that is a big part of it, is picking your font that you stick with, because I think that's something that people identify as being yours. Like you said, another way that you can do it is just around every single thumbnail, you have a certain type of border, or some sort of like a sidebar. I can show you an example of both of those right now. I tried it for myself briefly, but I didn't really like it. So we'll go ahead and switch over to the channel review little thing here. So here's a channel right here who really brands his stuff. You can see every single video has this sidebar thing, and he talks about this as well. But you can see these, it's pretty much on every single video. So that's one way you could go. Another way you could go, this is a guy in my community on YouTube. He does just a little bit differently, but sort of the same idea. Around every single video, it's not even that noticeable, but it makes it yours. You see this orange bar, and then the green bar on the top and the bottom. So you can try something like that as well. Do you think you'd want to do something like that? I mean, you got some really good looking thumbnails already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I could see, the thing is, I don't know what I could do. I guess I could do like a border type of thing, but usually I don't have like a single color. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
So
like
you're looking for
one
a
border
color, yeah,
can't,
okay.
you know. But I don't know. I'll kind of mess around with that a little bit.
Yeah.
Just trying to catch the eyes of people.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you're the only guy who's making thumbnails that are that flashy. So to me, when I see a flashy thumbnail in my subscription box, I know it's you.
Right.
But I know that there are also others. So it just depends on who else your subscribers are subscribed to.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the thing. Like, the Clash Royale guys are like a lot better than me. Like their thumbnails are
thumbnails.
ridiculous. Yeah, like I don't even know where they get their images. Like they must have people like creating those images, you know, like cartoon artists and stuff. Some of those guys have some like images. I'm like, there's no way. Like I don't know where you get this, because I've looked them up, right? So I mean, I'm doing my best, but I know like a lot of people, like when they get big, they just have thumbnail creators, like
Yeah.
guys who just make them, you know. And my nephew actually has one. He has two. He has a backup one just in case the first one gets sick.
So wait a minute. How big is your nephew on
It's
now?
like 500.
500 subs?
Yeah, like 513 or
And
something.
he's already got people working for him?
I know. He's a freshman in high school. So,
Oh man.
yeah. I mean, he's, you know, hopefully he gets big and stuff. So hopefully he comes here, you know. So,
Yeah, no, that'd be cool.
yeah.
Yeah. You guys have any thoughts on thumbnails?
I think one thing people get caught up on is trying to make sure their thumbnails are like the same as everybody else, like just as like flashy or like the same style. And I think that's a wrong way to think about it, because you want to brand yourself,
Right.
you know. So you want to you have to take like some of the good elements but make it your own. So I used to like hate my thumbnails, and some of my early ones were pretty bad, but after a while I was like, this is my style and like nobody else is doing this. So if anybody really wanted to find my video, they can sort of recognize it just by like the thumbnail.
Yeah, exactly.
So like what do you use to edit thumbnails? You use Photoshop? Or, okay. What about you?
I use a combination of Minga Studio, which is kind of similar to Photoshop,
Okay.
and PowerPoint to compile the stuff together.
You were using one of those free, what was
I
it
use
called?
GIMP, which
GIMP,
is
yeah.
like the
I've heard of
GNU image manipulation program. It's open source. It's free.
That's right,
It's,
okay.
Yeah. It's
I gotta give that a shot.
it's tricky to learn, but once you learn it, it's
Yeah.
basically just as powerful as Photoshop.
Right.
And it's free. You don't have to do the $15 a month or whatever the heck Photoshop is these days.
Yeah.
So
When I was just starting out, I tried GIMP and gave up in like 10 minutes.
it was really I if I looked through all my videos, I could probably pick out where I started using GIMP, and you can see the quality slowly get better as I learned. I learned like what layers were. I learned what layers were, how to select things by the color, how to like remove backgrounds and stuff like that, which I found out was way easier to do in GIMP than in Photoshop, because I wanted to remove like a bright green background from something, basically a green screen type thing, in Photoshop once just to goof around, and somebody was like, no, you have to download a plugin to do that, otherwise you got to go through and delete the, and I was like, GIMP, you just color the alpha and it gets rid of it.
Yeah.
So
You can actually use, I mean, just while we're on the topic, OBS actually just will chroma key it.
Will it?
automatically, yeah. And
Yeah.
like you can record, that's the thing too. So like say you have a webcam, you can record yourself talking, and like you just insert like a video, like a PNG video. It's kind of crazy.
I didn't know OBS could do that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I know how to do it on Vegas, but I didn't know any of the broadcasting
Oh, like
software.
picture-in-picture
Yeah.
stuff on Vegas?
Yeah. That's another thing I've learned how to do the past 2 years that I've been editing is Vegas, because I've always had it, but I never used anything besides just the drag and drop and cut the clips and stuff like that. So
Yeah, GIMP's a little, it's complicated. Let's put it this way. In middle school, I took a class on GIMP.
Oh,
So, like,
there you go.
It is. I forgot those, so don't ask me.
So how'd you get into Photoshop? You're pretty good with that.
Yeah. So
Just
my nephew
trying
used
it out?
Photoshop.
Yeah.
So he's like, so I was like, oh, how are these thumbnails? Because I used to use like online software and stuff. And he's younger. He's like, no, they suck. And I was just like, yo, can you make me some? So he made me some. They're really good. And I'm like, I kind of need Photoshop. And
Okay.
I picked it up.
Yeah, that's cool. I remember using, well, I don't use Vegas. I use Movie Studio, which is like a step down from Vegas, but it's basically the same thing, just crappier version. I spent a long time learning that, but once I got it, it just went fast. Like, I can do things really efficiently now. Like I can make a video now in probably 2 hours that a year ago would have taken me 4 hours, just because I know all the shortcuts and stuff. So it's good to know that stuff. And for all of the club members watching, I know a lot of you have Macs and you use Final Cut. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like anybody here even uses a Mac. It's kind of funny, but
I'll probably start, to be honest.
you probably start. Does anybody have a Mac?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, cool. You know how to use iMovie at least?
Yeah, for sure. I made a couple of videos using iMovie.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Anybody ever use Adobe Premiere?
No.
Yeah, that's sort of like
Top of the line.
Yeah, it's weird because nobody in the film industry, like if you go out here and talk to these people at the front desk, they don't know anything about Vegas, but they know a lot about Premiere because everybody at this school uses Premiere, and I think a lot of the top YouTubers also use Premiere, but so it's.
I don't know about that. At least like some of the ones I watch, I know they use Vegas. I know for a fact that
So
that's what
you're
they
talking
use.
about gamers though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gaming YouTubers
I
at
feel
least
like-
use Vegas.
I feel like it's easier to use. I don't know why, but I've seen like a lot of game YouTubers just use Vegas, but like everybody else use like Premiere or something. I don't know what it is, but it's just. I feel like
It's probably just like gamers are more cost efficient. They're more economical, when they're starting out.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's probably it.
Like, if you just legitimately buy Vegas from like full price or whatever, it is pricey, but you only pay it once. So that's like the huge advantage.
And same with Final Cut. It's just a one-time thing.
Yeah.
But Premiere's $15 a month. Come on.
Yeah.
It's really easy to pirate Vegas.
Okay, we're not even.
We're not going.
I've never done it, but I believe you.
I've never. No, okay. All right.
I upgraded for cheap, so that was the nice thing. Was they were like, but get Vegas 14. I'm like, it's $150. Like, we'll give it to you for 50. I was like, I can do
they
50.
get you like that.
Yeah.
I've seen that before. Well, I think we are almost out of time here. We've already been talking for an hour, so. Is it 2?
It's 1 minute till 2.
Okay, yeah, my computer camera or clock is a little weird here. So thank you guys all for coming. Hopefully we'll have you back here next week. We'll have a whole set of new topics to discuss.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm actually planning on getting a second webcam so that we can sort of not to have to be so close to each other, especially if we get five or six people in here.
Yeah. Right.
So that we can have one pointing at 3 or 2, the other one pointing 3 or 2, have them split screen. So that'll be cool to get that going. There's also over here in the ISS Media Lab, they rent out a bunch of stuff, and webcams is one of them, so we can give that a shot as well. Is anybody up for office hours after this? Because I know we didn't really schedule it.
I can stay to help with office hours.
For a little bit, yeah.
All right. So anybody who's watching this in the club, we will be holding office hours here from probably about 2 till 3-ish. Is that good? So come on down to the ISS Media Center, second floor of the Modern Language Building. We'll be here probably in one of either the Mac Lab or the PC Lab, and we'll be there to answer your questions and help you out any YouTube advice. So thank you guys all for coming on, and we're gonna go ahead and end the stream now. So.